And welcome back to another season of Studio Q here on Bent TV Channel 31, your community station. I'm Michael, and joining me today is Alan Duncan, producer extraordinaire, and a new volunteer, Mark. How are you?
Good. Yeah.
Good to be here. You're from Geelong?
Yes.
Oh, we're going to say something about that in a minute.
It's in the news at the moment, isn't it?
Well, it is very much so, but we'll talk about something slightly more light-hearted to start off with. And we have an email from a viewer this week, and if you'd like your view, or if you've got something to promote, or just want to write us a letter, it's PO Box 6256, St Kilda Road, Central, Melbourne, 8008, or the fast way, feedback@benttv.org.au.
Brilliant. You didn't fluff it for once. Good on you,
not
darling.
once. And I also just want to remind you that we do need volunteers and we do need members. It's only $30 for a full membership, or
It's $20 concession.
that's absolutely correct, and you can send off your money to the aforesaid, or perhaps even go to our website and attempt, and I say attempt, the download of a membership form. Now, form doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be involved, but you can also sign up to be a corporate sponsor, which is the lowly amount of
$100 a year.
$100. It's
And we
next to
do
nothing.
need your support. It keeps us on air, and we do have a lot of fun, don't we, boys?
We do, and we hope you do too.
And Mark here is a new fellow that's just joined us, and I think you've had a good day, haven't you, Mark?
It's been good, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, fun.
Mucking about, playing with the cameras, learning
Yeah,
a few things.
and so it's something, that you don't normally get to do.
Indeed. And
yeah,
what
and-
sort of spurred you on to come along and give it a try?
Actually, it was the stuff that's going on in the paper lately in Geelong.
Yes.
I sort of thought, it'd be great to be able to get your opinion across.
That's what we're here for, yeah.
So, I mean, all we're getting at the moment in Geelong, and I'm sure people know about it, is the Geelong paper's point of view, and you're not really getting everybody else's point of view.
You don't hear a lot out of the Geelong gay community, do you?
No.
At all?
No.
No,
And
because they're here.
I don't want to offend anybody, but I don't think that Geelong people are all that willing to, get up and make a stand, or I think it's so easy to go to Melbourne and to go out in Melbourne and then just sit back home.
And what do you think of the beat up, to pardon the pun, on the beats down there?
I think that the paper has made it, tried to sensationalise it a lot more than,
Well,
and also putting, they're sort of saying that it's really a gay issue, where I think it's a lot to do with straight men.
Well, see, we had a little chat before the show, and this is what it's. Perhaps I'm under a misapprehension because misapprehension because I've never been to a beat. But I have argued here before that I consider it actually kind of a straight thing, really. Like, they're saying I'm popping off to 7-Eleven, love, and off they go down to the local.
straight from the suburbs, but closeted.
Because it's quite. Because I don't know. There are inner city beats, obviously, but there are a lot bigger ones out in the burbs.
Of course.
The cars up and down the car parks and stuff. And I believe, I know you have a different opinion, but I think it's a lot of straight people involved in that.
Well, straight, quote unquote, and that is a big factor, but we do also know factually that there are out gay men who do it as more or less a cultural statement. It's been part of our history for so long. So, sure, some guys still need it, but a lot don't. And there are other avenues now to meet out gay men.
Well,
but
there are saunas and spas.
that are safer, but some do it as a cultural statement. And I've heard that said. It is my right to do it. It's part of our history. There's risk involved, but the risk is in fact part of the allure.
I think that's the excitement.
Yeah.
The risk. Yeah.
Oh, really? Because I just couldn't bear the thought of getting sprung, especially if it was like a copper or something.
Well, some would actually. That would be their fantasy, wouldn't it?
And then again, it's in a public. It's in public toilets. Ew! Like, have you ever seen a really well cleaned public toilet? I'm asking a serious question.
I know what you mean. Yeah, and it does. It is got that stigma of being cheap. And I guess some of the community, I saw this in Melbourne Star the other day, and I have asked myself this for quite a while, is it time the out gay community actually said, okay, it is time we kind of grew up on this and said we don't need this anymore,
Right,
and
well,
perhaps it's tarring us all with the same brush.
Well, I suppose in a sense you're right, because you notice now though, because of this whole bisexuality is cool thing, I've never seen so many out people in my whole life.
Yeah.
Like normally people out were obviously gay. But now you go to the pub and everyone's just, you can't tell who's gay and who's not, everyone just looks straight.
Yeah.
Much to my jargon.
Well, as usual, we lead the way, don't we? We lead the way, and then the rest of the community.
I think more and more you'll see these men from the burbs popping into the exchange or, the peel or whatever.
With their gay, what do they call them? Their fag stags. They go out with their gay male friends to pick up women. This is the thing. It is true.
Because they've got radar. I don't know what it is, but you can take a straight woman to an almost exclusively gay venue, and the little buggers are bang, and she finds the one straight boy in the whole room. It's the straight dart
thing going on, isn't it?
And because there's not a lot of choice in this area, they're like sucking face before you can say hallelujah.
Like leeches.
I know.
Well,
but actually, we did get an email, and we really have to talk about that because we kind of have to, because we don't get that many. So that's another reason why
we do welcome them though. So keep them coming in.
feedback@benttv.org.au, and the email we got this week was about being dumped by text. What do you reckon?
Cowardly.
No, I was listening to, and it wasn't Detours on a Saturday with our own Harriet and Macca. No, it was actually another program, and they were saying that this girl had emailed in and she was saying she was dumped by text. And I wanted to ask you guys, would you ever dump somebody by text?
No.
Just a no.
No, it's cowardly.
But does it depend on how long you've been going out for? Like, I'm not saying 10 years, because I mean that would be like
if it was a one night.
Yeah. Well, one night you don't even deserve a phone call. Like, I don't think.
I don't know. There's any obligation after one night.
Unless it was like fantastic.
It depends if there's some sort of other understanding there that it was going to go somewhere else. But
okay, but then so you're saying what about if it was like say for a week?
Well, everyone gets the no phone call, don't we? Do you know what I mean? Like, everyone tries to play that 3 days, and we won't ring for 3 days because you've got to seem cool.
Oh, yeah.
And then the phone call just doesn't actually ever come.
Yeah, but before texting, that was it, the phone call, and that was considered rude. It was meant to be face to face. And then you had the phone call, and now you've got texting.
But then see, some people, you go on one date and they think you're going out for life.
Yeah.
That's it, we're married. And they're talking about what kind of dog are we getting. I'm like, don't freak me out.
I think it's just, there's too much crap in the gay scene as it is. It's too cold. People really treat each other like shit, and they should know better. Like, we should know better. We go through so much shit anyway, and I think there's just a basic courtesy. Even if it doesn't happen in the straight world, we should rise above it.
Well, you're also reaching on another subject there, which is kind of like the death of the gay ghettos, like your commercial road strips and that kind of thing, because we don't feel the need to actually congregate for safety, kind of, or for same interest. People, you go to any club, any bar, anywhere. In fact, that's usually where I've picked up in a straight sort of situation. So.
Oh yeah, some notorious ones in Sydney. Coogee Bay Hotel. Looks straight on the outside, but it's a notorious old pickup joint for for gay boys. And it's nice straight acting stuff too often, so you like that sort of thing.
Well, did any of us actually, you answered the question. Did you answer the question? Would you dump someone by text?
No, I don't think. I couldn't. If it was anything other than a one night fuck. If it's a week, a week's a week. You've seen each other for a week. There's been some sort of understanding that you'll meet up. You might have become fuck buddies by then, but fuck buddies are one step up from a one night fuck.
Now, that leads me to this other thing.
That still demands courtesy.
Well, it's like, that whole first date scenario. It's like, how much do you say? How much do you keep to yourself? Like, because I'm one of those people, I tend to, because I'm nervous, I tend to have one glass too many.
Right.
Never, sweetheart, never.
I get a bit gushy, do you know what I mean? I start talking to fill up those little silences, the quiet parts in the conversation. I don't think that goes down too well.
Is that why you're single? You've let too much out on the first
day. You've let the cat out of the bag there. And by the way, yes, you can still write to feedback@benttv.org.au and enclose a photograph or something. never know. Anyway.
Right. So
Yes, well, okay, and I didn't answer the question at all because I'm really,
Are you on the fence?
I don't know. This day it's like, well, is it any different to do it by email?
No different.
Is that
Email?
ruder? Less
that's-
rude?
On par.
think
They'd
so.
be the same thing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, a phone call, well, yeah.
No, yeah. Why are you on the fence on that? It's
I
just,
don't know. I just think. I just think it really depends. I don't think you can categorically say. I'd like to think that no one would dump me by text, that's for sure. But then you've got to be going out with someone for them to dump you, and that's not likely to happen. So.
Oh, I'm sure there's a violin playing somewhere in the background. Yes, I'm sure.
No, it's the guy cooking in the kitchen out the back, actually.
Oh, it's a pig squealing, is it?
Which we should make quick mention of the Comics Lounge here in Errol Street, North
Fantastic
Melbourne.
supporters of us.
Fabulous supporters
Yes.
of Bet TV and have been for quite some time now.
So keep an eye out at thecomicslounge.com.au, and they often have fantastic talent here on the stage.
Always.
Apart from us, of course.
Yes.
Other fantastic talent.
Other fantastic talent. That's absolutely
Or
right.
just fantastic talent at some stage.
True. Well, welcome, as we said, welcome to another season of Studio Q.
Yes, indeed.
This has been our view on QView. And don't forget your feedback at bentv.org.au or PO Box 6256 St Kilda Road Central, Melbourne 8008.
8008. Looks like boob if you type it into your mobile.
Oh, thank you.
Easy way to remember.
And that was Alan. That was Mark. And I'm Michael.
I still am.
Yeah.
So is he.
And we'll see you next week.
We will, because we'll still be Ben TV. And it's
We
great
will.
to be back.
On
See you
Channel
soon.
31.
sit in the corner flicking through a magazine, savouring my wine, surveying the room. Waitresses' hair tenaciously pinned, arrogance a prerequisite. The clank of glasses and cutlery intermingles with the soft murmurings, the ebb and flow of laughter. A strawberry blonde caressing the rim of her wine glass, cappuccino skin. A brunette, costume of sable, raven eyes searching, sips her coffee. Warm porcelain pressed to crimson lips. She holds my gaze, a momentary invitation. I know you, I am like you, I want you. I glance away. Skirt strained against cinnamon thighs, the taste of her tongue, syrupy breath teasing my throat. I step into the street relinquishing desire.
Happy Pride from Brisbane.
Hi, we're back on Studio Q on Bent TV, and I'm joined again by John Kloprogge from Equal Love, part of the Victorian Gay and Lesbian Rights Lobby. Welcome back, John.
Welcome, Pete. Thanks.
So tell us about what Equal Love does. I mean, we know about the National Day of Action on the 13th of August. This is obviously a broader program that exists for this working group. Do you want to tell us a little more about what's been achieved so far?
Well, Equal Love set up about this time last year. Was all about achieving relationship recognition for same-sex couples, basically relationship equality. So our relationships aren't treated any differently from other relationships. We've achieved quite a few things so far. We have held a debate on the issue of gay marriage.
That was the lobby's mass debate.
That's right,
yeah.
Mass debate. And this was all about tackling those issues, what sort of considerations need to be thought about, and it was just a great event.
So it was successful.
It was very successful. We had heaps of people come along to that. Held at a venue at Federation Square. Sure. And it was just a great event all round.
So this obviously follows on from Equal Love on the 13th of August last year and Midsummer Vows of 2004?
That's right. In 2004 we had Midsummer Vows, where we had 300 couples declare their love for each other in a public ceremony.
On a very hot day, if my memory serves me correct.
That's right, and that was a really inspiring event.
So looking at this from a broader perspective, obviously the Victorian Gay and Lesbian Rights Lobby has a mandate or a policy platform about relationship recognition. Do you want to sort of give us a bit of an overview on what that policy is?
Yeah, that's the lobby has said that it will fight for the legal and formal recognition of same-sex relationships.
So this is not the gay marriage wheelbarrow we're pushing. It's more about a legal issue of removing discrimination from a whole bunch of areas.
It's all about equality. It's all about removing discrimination, so helping same-sex couples in their day-to-day lives. So all those areas of discrimination that we see, particularly in federal law, will eventually be eradicated.
So how is the reaction to the recent overturn of the ACT's civil unions legislation, which, from my understanding, was vetted or changed after comments from certainly the Attorney General and the Prime Minister? How do you think we would go in Victoria if we instituted a civil union scheme? How would the federal government react, do you think?
Personally, I don't think that the sky will fall in if a civil union scheme was enacted in Victoria, but we may well see a very hostile reaction from the federal government, as we did see towards the ACT's civil union scheme.
Obviously there's different sets of powers that they have over territories that they don't have over the states. Do you think that with the Victorian election in November, that the Bracks government is willing to tackle this issue now? Is there enough noise being made after the ACT to put it on the Victorian agenda?
Well, that's really up to the same-sex couples out there in the Victorian community to decide for themselves what sort of formal recognition they want for their relationships. So hopefully August 13 this year will be an event where same-sex couples can make a powerful statement about what form of relationship recognition they want.
Sure. If people want to get involved with either the Victorian Gay and Lesbian Rights Lobby or specifically this working group around relationship recognition, how do they do so?
Well, they can first go to our website, www.equallove.org.au, or they can contact Equal Love on 0409 142 365.
So this is now going to be an ongoing, a rolling campaign until such time as the federal legislation changes or the state legislation changes?
Well, it's all about relationship equality, and if we can have our relationships recognised in federal and state levels, then a lot of same-sex couples will benefit from that.
Thank you. On Studio Q, West Studio Q on Bent TV, thank you, John Kloprogge from Equal Love, part of the Victorian Gay and Lesbian Rights Lobby. I'm Pete Dillon. See you soon.
Mm-hmm.